Hello everyone, today you're here at the Mega Stories channel, and what we're going to do today is open these boxes. These boxes contain all the Starbucks cups that I've collected throughout my journey the past around 2 years, 2021 and 2022. For those who are wondering where I went to 2021, you can watch my old videos. We were allowed to travel within the country. So all these cups, I have a lot more from before, but these are the ones in the last 2 years. So today we're going to open it and then maybe talk about the city of where these cups came from. The first cup is... I have to unwrap the wrapping paper. Oh, nice. Belgium. You can see Belgium is the place where they invented the fries. And they're very famous for the chocolate. And it's also, believe it or not, the second place that industrialized in the world. So there are cities in Belgium that made their fortune through the textile trade. It's also the country with two distinct regions. If you include the third one, which is a smaller part, it's actually 3 different languages. The northern part speaks Flemish. The southeastern part speaks Wallon, which is very similar to French, or even kind of is like a dialect of French. And then there's a part of it that speaks German. Now we have the cup from Toronto. So Toronto is the place where I grew up. As you can see, there's the old city hall. We also have a very slow trams. And CN Tower, which we're most famous for. Lake Ontario, which is all situated south of the city. St. Lawrence Market, Yonge Street, Dundas Square. As you can see, we're also known for baseball, hockey, and wintry sports. It's also the place where it's the financial capital of Canada, kind of like the New York of the US. And Toronto is basically where most of the opportunities are if you're seeking work, because it's the biggest city in Canada. Now we have, another wrapping paper one. Very good. Wrapping paper ones means it's from a farther trip. Brussels. So we talked previously about Belgium. Brussels is part of Belgium and is also the capital city of Belgium. And they're famous for a certain type of waffles. And the city is I think you can say the modern part of Belgium. There's also a specific sector of Brussels where the EU Parliament, the European Union, is situated in, where they spend most of the time there. Oh, Tokyo. Tokyo, where the previous series I made is situated. So Tokyo is the capital of Japan. And there's a lot of people, and you can see just represent all the people. And it's also where you can see sakura trees, which is, if I'm not mistaken, April. And this is the Thunder Gate. Lots of people, lots of tourists, lots of cars on this highway. Lolita fashion, I guess. Shiba Inu. Tempura, and yeah, this cup is really nice actually. They incorporated a lot of Japan into this Tokyo cup. Oh, this is the crepe. It's different from French crepe because they add ice cream. Fukuoka. This is in northern Kyushu in Japan. And it's really famous for the ramen. Sendai. I haven't been to Sendai. It's in Tohoku, Japan. So the northern part of Honshu Island, the big island in Japan. It's really famous for one thing: beef hum. It's delicious. You can see the cup over here. It's all beef tongue. Okinawa. Okinawa is like the Hawaii of Japan. It has a separate, distinct identity, prior to being part of Japan, it used to be its own kingdom called the Ryukyu Islands, Ryukyu Kingdom, and you can see from its history, from its what they have as local produce and local stuff is very different from Japan itself, even though it is part of Japan. From this cup, we can see that they're known for pineapples. That I didn't know, so it's interesting. Florida, the Sunshine State. So this cup encompasses what it means to be in Florida. You can see people enjoying, and you can see all the sunshine stuff like crocodiles/alligators. And also, this is a place where a lot of Americans go to retire, where Canadians go to avoid the harsh winters in Canada. Antwerp, another city in Belgium. It's known for its diamond district. It's also the city in the Flemish part of Belgium. So when you go there and you speak Dutch, people will be able to understand you, even though Flemish is its own distinct language. Osaka, the second biggest city in Japan. It used to be it used to be bigger than Edo, which is now Tokyo, at one point in its history, but it's now the second biggest, and their Japanese the way they speak is different from the Tokyo one. They call it the Kansai dialect. And you can see there's actually a lot of stuff to do in Osaka, but mostly it's very good food. Next one is Japan in the fall. So you can see that they also have autumn leaves falling from the ground like Canada. And you can see I represent Japan's sushi. And basically cultural stuff of Japan, sumo wrestling. Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the northernmost main island of Japan. It's also the place where they actually have like decent winters like Canada. You see people play in the snow, and you can actually go skiing in Hokkaido, and they're known for their good, delicious ice cream and crabs and seafood. If you want to eat uni, or sea urchin, this is the place to go. Oh, I think this one might be from Europe. Oh, but it's wrapped in napkins, lots. It's wrapped very well, even though it's napkins. Roermond. This is part of the Netherlands, and it's also where there's a very famous outlet mall. It's also the southeastern part of the Netherlands. Ooh, nice wrapping again. Ooh, Den Haag. Den Haag is actually what we in English call The Hague. And it's where the Dutch capital building is. If you want to see the video, you can check the playlist. Netherlands. This is just a cup of Netherlands. Netherlands is really famous for its windmills, and they use the windmills to pump the water because in the back in the day there's no modern technology, so they use windmills to pump the water out because the Netherlands always floods, and they try to control the water flow so that the whole country doesn't sink. By doing this, they were able to create a whole new province called Flevoland. More wrapping. And this one is Rotterdam. Rotterdam is known to be the financial part of the Netherlands. It's also where all the main port is. It's very modern compared to Amsterdam, which tries to retain its more early modern character. Whereas Rotterdam, because of World War II, a lot of this infrastructure and buildings were destroyed, so they had to rebuild. So they just rebuilt it as a very modern city. Puerto Rico. I've only been here for less than a day in Puerto Rico because our cruise ship stopped by. It's the place in the US that's not even a state, but part of the US because of the American involvement in Cuban's war of independence from Spain. So it joined the US, and there's a lot of people, but it's not a state in the US. San Juan. San Juan is the capital city of Puerto Rico, and it's also where I stopped in Puerto Rico. See, there's a cruise. It's also where most of the cruise ships stop. Something unique about San Juan is that they use a lot of cats. It's on top of a hill, so when there's water problems, there's rats. So the city employs a lot of cats to get rid of the rats. And the locals just all of a sudden buy food for these cats. These cats, no one can actually own these cats, but they do give them food. Oh, I'm actually having trouble opening this one. Oh. New York. So I did have footage of New York and my trip in New York. I went in August of this year, and I still haven't posted it yet. So you should look forward to that. I hope my vlog, you guys will like my vlog. So here's New York, the cup. Here is Yokohama. Springtime in Japan. Kumamoto. Here is the Twin Cities. Thanks for watching. This is the collection of this time's unboxing. Like, share, and subscribe.